Hi you guys, welcome to my little paintbrush. My name is Miss Cami and we are celebrating the holidays at our studio with one of our favorite holiday treats, the gingerbread man or woman, however you want to paint this. Your palette has lots of different colors today, so switch it up and choose your own background, your own buttons. Decorate this cookie however you want to, okay? Also remember you can pause this video if I'm painting a little too fast for you. No problem. Pause, rewind, do whatever you need to do to enjoy the process and to have a masterpiece that you can be proud of. All right, let's get started. I'm going to get a large flat paintbrush and I'm going to start by getting it wet because our paint needs water. It gets thirsty. Now here is my plate of awesome colors. I've got this goldish color I'm going to move some brown into and start to mix that together. I want to do quite a bit because I don't want to have to go back and re-find my gingerbread color. I want to have enough that if I need to fix any mistakes along the way, I've got a nice pile to refer to. Okay, now here's the color that I'm pretty happy with. I think I'll just pull in a touch of white because our paint will dry a shade or two darker on our canvas than what it appears on our palette. So be sure to lighten it up just a little bit so that you don't have the problem of your paint color being off than what you thought it would be. Okay, let's put some more water into our paint, make sure it's nice and thinned for us, and then let's fill in our gingerbread man, woman, our cookie, whatever it is to you, we'll just fill it in. We're also going to keep in mind that our cookie is going to need another layer of paint. So this one, we're just going to put our paint on our surface and not worry too much about perfection right now. These circles right here, if you're using our pattern or if you've purchased our paint kit, those are the cheeks for a good reference point. So it's good to stay kind of out of those cheeks as we don't want to compete too much with the brown when we go to paint our cheeks pink. So we're going to come around, fill in all of our gingerbread cookie. These circles down here are our buttons. Now you can see I'm not spending too much time being super concerned about staying out of my cheeks and my buttons. I'm just making sure that I don't get a ton of paint in there and making sure I still see them. They will be a good reference point as we continue painting. Okay. So you can wrap your canvas right here. You can wrap the bottom of your canvas anywhere that your paint ends on the edges of your canvas. You'll want to wrap around. That's kind of a good gauge. If your object goes all the way to the edge, be sure to take the time to go around your canvas so that when you display it, it's nice and completed masterpiece. Okay, just like that, we have our first layer in. Let's give our brush a nice wash. Okay, and let's focus on our background next. This is, of course, up to you on your color. I chose a pink. I'm going to take just a touch of pink over to a nice pile of white and start mixing that together. The amount of pink that I add or you add is completely up to you, as you can be the one to decide how light or dark your background is. Again, keep in mind what I said in the beginning. You're painting, the paint color that you choose will dry a bit darker on your canvas than what it looks like on your plate or your palette, whatever you're using. And now let's begin the process of filling in our background, okay? We're just gonna really do big strokes My background's a little larger than yours as my surface is a bit bigger, but same concept applies. You're just brushing it in. I like to work away from my subject, which of course is my cookie, and then I will move towards my subject once I get my background all filled in. That way I can go fast and then slow down when I get close to my gingerbread cookie. Be sure you're wrapping your canvas at this point in time as well, as the rest of your surface is going to meet the edge there, and you'll want to wrap that around. Once we get close to our cookie, we're going to slow down so that we have a nice clean edge, but we're going to remember even still that this is just a layer. We are still going to have some more opportunities within our gingerbread man to clean up our edges. So we're not going to overstress perfection right now. We're just getting that pink or whatever color you've chosen all around our cute, yummy, delicious, happy, bright, all the things gingerbread man. I keep saying man, but I think this one's probably a girl. She's inspired by my daughters, so I should probably say gingerbread girl or woman. Before I wash my brush, I'm going to dip some of my brush into white. I'm going to use that corner to add some nice, fun, bright white around my gingerbread girl. And this helps just kind of to bring the eye all the way to her and help her be kind of the star here. She is, or he is, the main star of our show, and we want to show that off. And so we're going to add this white as you're coming in so that when you look, your eye is directed to her. And also, it gives our background some fun dimension. So both things important for our overall piece. Blend that in to your background, and there you go. Okay, let's give our brush another healthy wash. And back to our gingerbread cookie we go. So right back into that fun color that we mixed earlier. I'm gonna just make sure that my paper is nice and tight so I don't have any wrinkles. Sometimes this happens to me as the surface gets wet. So I'm gonna tighten it up real quick, and then I'm going to go in, let's see here, just pull it down a bit. There we go. Then I'll go back into my cookie for another layer of that color that I mixed together and fill it in again. So it's nice and covered. We got good coverage. That's what we're going for here. Nice, good coverage. If you didn't like your original cookie color, maybe it's dried darker than you anticipated, this is a good time to lighten it up. You can still make those changes for this next layer. And around our cheeks and our edges, go, making sure that it's covered where the cookie is showing, but not filling in those cheeks. Nice and smooth. Sometimes you really have to work some colors. They tend to be a little more difficult, and browns are, and so we just have to work them a little bit more than we do some of our other colors. Okay, coming down and around, going around our candy buttons. Maybe they're gumdrops. whatever you want them to be, right? You're painting, so it's your imagination. If you don't want to do the buttons, you can paint right over them and you can choose a different design. That is totally fine. Picture in your mind that you are decorating your gingerbread man with frosting, and you can do it however you want, okay? Before we begin our other details, I'm going to keep that nice gingerbread color on my brush, and I'm going to dip a corner into my original dark brown, and this corner I'm going to follow my cookie with. The inner edge of my cookie. And this is the final step to the edges of my cookie. So this is where I want to really clean up the edge. We won't be outlining our cookie as we do in a lot of our pieces. And so this is the opportunity to really have that nice clean edge. Okay, so come around there and we just continue to go around our cookie. Now when cookies come out of the oven, they have a nice golden brown around them, right? So of course, you've got to have a nice golden brown around our gingerbread cookie. We're just going to keep going. Add water to your brush as needed. Continue to just load by dipping that corner into your dark brown. Come around here. Use all your bristles, fan your brush out. Don't just use the corner. That's something that we tend to do, is we just want to use the corner of our brush. You really want to fan out your bristles so that all of your bristles are being used. That does one of two things. It helps you get a clean edge, but it also helps you get a really nice blend. So you want to do both of those things as you are doing the edge of your gingerbread cookie. A little too far outside my lines there, but I can clean that up pretty easily. Okay, we also want to add a bit of some shadow. So we're going to take that dark edge and we're going to go underneath our buttons. Just under them. We don't need to outline the whole thing. And we're going to take our shadow and go under our little cheek too, because this is frosting and candy, and they are going to cast a bit of a shadow, no doubt, on our cookie, right? All right, friends, let's get down to some fun details. I'm going to wash my big brush and I'm going to set it aside because I am pretty much done with that brush. I'm going to switch to a smaller one. This is just a smaller flat. And I'm going to go back, maybe I need to make just a little bit more of my background pink, okay? Get some water on my brush. This is going to be my cheek color. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to fill in my cute little cheeks. And this is the opportunity to clean that up. If you've gotten any of your brown in it, this is your moment to go through and clean it up. watch out, they can grow. Anytime we do anything circular, it tends to grow on us, so keep that in mind, right? And let's do this one over here. See how I really utilize all the bristles of my brush. I really press. I want to use all of them. That's how I get that nice shape. I'm going to dip the corner of it in white, and I'm going to kind of go around it again with that white, and it kind of just wakes it up a little bit. And I like what it does. I like what happens when I go around it with some white. Of course, if you're one of our smaller artists, these steps can be a little bit more tricky, and honestly, you can choose to not do them. If you're just feeling less confident in yourself, you can opt out of it. This cheek is giving me a little bit of problem. See how you just kind of wipe it away. There we go. Wash my brush out. I'm just going to come over here and clean that up because it just needs a little bit of cleanup. Don't ever feel like you have no options, because there are always solutions to our painting. We can always go back. We can always fix things. As you can see right here, I'm just going to reshadow that as it got a little out of control for me. Okay, let's wash our brush. And let's work on our buttons. We've got some really pretty colors. Let's start with our green. I'm going to really lighten each color up. And you can keep them nice and dark if you prefer, but I just liked these bright colors. So let's start down here. Again, we're cleaning up our edges as well. And let's take some white as we've done in the cheeks, and let's just give it a little bit of brightness right there. All right, let's rinse that out. We've got some fun colors to do here. We're going to do some purple, which I don't have on my palette, but we can totally make some. Look at this beautiful purple that comes with that pink and a bit of turquoise. And then we can add some white to it, and it just gets this really light, pretty purple. I love it so much. We don't need that much of it. It's just one little button here. Cute little button. Again, pressing my bristles to get a nice circle, adding some white to my brush to wake it up. All right, so you're getting this idea down. Let's rinse again. Our last button is just turquoise, but like we've been doing, I want to lighten it up to match kind of this these bright buttons that I've been doing the whole time. So nice press of my brush, fanning it out all the way around so I can get a nice circle, cleaning up my edges, adding a bit of white, waking it up. Wonderful. Okay, looking fabulous. Let's go back to our cheeks just to make sure that they have enough wake up here. We're just going to load our brush with the pink and a little bit of white, and then we're going to see how I just focus on the left side here. We're just going to do this half circle on the left side, okay? And On this side, it's going to be on the right side. So we just kind of half circle it, okay, to give it a nice wake up. Right there, just like so. Okay, let's wash that brush. We are ready for all of our details, which of course means we need to find a good detail brush. So just find the smallest brush you've got and let's get going on these fun details. These are going to be white, okay? So let's move some white over and let's loosen it up. Loosen up our white with some water. We are going to do some fun stuff, you guys. This is our frosting around our gingerbread man or girl. Okay, and let's just begin. Now, we're going to break up our lines so that we're not too stressed out about long strokes, okay? We're going to start with a nice curl right in the center of our gingerbread girl. She's going to have a nice big curl. Okay, and you see I just brushed that curl on there. It's not perfect, but I can go back to it now and I can clean up those edges. I can press with my brush for a thicker stroke where I want it. But the reason I like to do that first stroke pretty quick is because if I slow down too much, I'm going to get shaky and I'm not going to get the result that I want. So I've got to kind of put that first swirl in with one quick stroke and then go back and clean it up, okay? Now this is your cookie. So of course you can frost it however you want. Maybe the swirl's not your thing. Not a big deal. You can add whatever you want. This is just the hairstyle that I chose for my cookie. And right now I'm just trying to, again, clean it up a bit. Gotta remember to breathe when I'm doing these steps. Sometimes I hold my breath. Okay, so let's continue. We'll let that dry. We'll come back for another layer if we need to. Let's go down this side. I'm gonna do a nice stroke. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pick up my brush and I'm gonna come around here and I'm gonna loop right there. So we're kind of giving our gingerbread cookie an outline, but we're doing it with our white paint and we're not going to the very edge of our cookie, right? Gingerbread cookies have those fun frosting outlines, and that's what we're doing here. Okay, now we're going to come over to this side. We're going to go up and around, and this section is going to meet up with our curl. So we're going to come all the way around, and you can connect it or not connect it. That's totally up to you. That's what's nice about doing broken strokes, is it takes some of the pressure off us of having these perfect straight lines. So those are kind of hard to do. Curving around again. Now I'm going to do my little swirls on my arms here, and this is where the stroke will start up again. So we kind of end it and then we start back up. We'll do the same thing over here. And our stroke will come through, it'll meet up with that little corner there, and then we'll go around the little hand. And then we'll come down the body. Okay, so we've really eliminated a lot of pressure on ourselves by doing these broken strokes, okay? When that's all finished, if you want to come back up to your curl, maybe it needs another layer, maybe not, up to you. You can add that or not. Sometimes we'll need that. Sometimes it's totally fine. All right. I think it's looking pretty good. I want to bring that curl in just a bit more, just like that. So I want to wrap it just even more. Make it super curly. Okay, awesome. All right, let's give our cookie some eyebrows and a smile, okay? So we're gonna continue with the white. We're gonna come up in this area and we're just going to lightly press in an eyebrow. So no pressure, and then at the end of my stroke, I press down. On this one, since I'm going the other direction, I'm going to press first, and then I'm going to pull away. Okay, so we've got those eyebrows in. We're just going to continue with our white on our brush. Give our gingerbread cookie a nice smile. Now again, this is your cookie, so whatever expression your cookie needs to have from you. While that white's on my brush, let's go ahead and make sure our buttons have a nice highlight down the left side of them. And you can even wake up your cheeks a little more with some white in there as well. Cute! You guys, this looks fabulous. Okay, giving our brush a nice good wash, we're going to go to our dark brown for our eyes. Now I chose a nice closed eye. He's kind of squinting a little bit. You can do that. You can do an open eye. You can do whatever your heart desires. I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to do this nice eye, just like that. Nice curve. Come over here on this eye, do the same thing. A nice curve. Cutest little cookie ever. You can do 2 layers on these. You can wait for them to dry for a nice darker eye mark if you want. You just let that dry and then go back to it. Okay, let's wash our brush. And we are going to have some fun with some glitter now. I've got some glitter glaze that I've just added to my plate where I found a spot right there. Okay, and we are going to glaze our background with our glitter. Just gonna brush it, make sure your brush is nice and clean. I'm using a big flat brush. And we're just going to put this glittery glaze all around our background for a nice holiday sparkle. I love glitter, and this glaze, when it dries, it'll go on a little bit white like this, but when it dries, your painting is going to have the coolest sparkle ever. You will love it. Now you've got to choose what you glitter beyond this. I don't suggest the whole painting because then the light will reflect and it gets crazy, but I, for one, really liked the idea of sparkly buttons. Make sure your buttons are dry. And of course, a little sparkle on the cheek as well. Again, make sure they're dry before you add that glitter. And that's all that I'm going to glitter. If you would like to, you can even get your detail brush and glitter the white frosting around the edge and the curl. That would be a fun idea too. Really, the sky is the limit for your gingerbread man or woman, right? Okay, let's splatter a little bit of a flurry onto our gingerbread cookie. Get a bristly brush or a toothbrush, an old toothbrush, not one that you're using. Get it wet and let's loosen up some white paint. So right over here, I'm gonna loosen up my white paint. The looser the paint, the bigger the splatter. So let's give it a nice, good bit of water. And then we're going to approach our canvas, and I'm going to take the bristles and I'm going to pull them towards me. Okay, and as I do that, they'll offload little bits of flurry onto our canvas. Okay, and so we will just do that as much as you want. Now, some of my younger artists, sometimes we get a little too flurry happy and it gets a little crazy. So don't flurry too much. You just want a nice kiss of some snow flurries. Perfect. Okay, let's sign our name, you guys. I am sure you have so many ideas on what to add to your cookie, and I would love to see what those are. So decorate your cookie however you would like, and then send me pictures so I can see your gingerbread man or woman. And I hope that you come paint with me soon. Have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you guys later.